Before the collapse, the media wasn't just hopeful, they were convinced. Analysts across the league weren't just calling the Clippers contenders, they were calling them the most dangerous team in the West.
That's why I consider the Los Angeles Clippers the most dangerous team based within the context of what it means to be dangerous at this.
Kawhi Leonard can carry the Los Angeles Clippers to the conference final.
Los Angeles Clippers, as a quote-unquote surprise, dangerous team, can go into every single series saying they have the best player and the best coach.
You know, adding Kawhi, then you can see everybody really like gelling and playing well together. So, they are the dark horse to me in the West.
But for all that belief, the story stayed the same. The most dangerous team never made it past the second round. Again, because danger isn't dominance, it's potential with a countdown. And when the buzzer hit 0, the Clippers had nothing left. The Clippers have spent decades chasing destiny and finding disaster. Whether it's Donald Sterling's shadow, Lob City flameouts, or Kawhi's knees turning to glass in April, this franchise doesn't just fall, it unravels. They are the most snake-bitten team in modern American sports. And even when everything looks perfect, history finds a way to pull the rug.
Leonard is fouled and he's limping.
We have to be honest here. It's a knee sprain. We're talking about an injury in weeks, not days. So the Clippers are going to be without him for the foreseeable future.
This season was supposed to be different. It wasn't. He collapse in 2020 wasn't just a loss, it was a stain. Up 3-1 against the Denver Nuggets, the Clippers looked locked in for a Western Conference Finals run. Instead, they crumbled. Kawhi and PG went scoreless in the fourth. No fight, no urgency. Just silence as Denver closed the door.
All right, Rachel. Well, the Nuggets trying to become the first team in NBA history to overcome 2 3-1 deficits in the same playoffs.
I need to get them back in this ball game. I want to put these Clippers away.
Kawhi Leonard. Leonard can't hit.
They've gotten a number of second shots, though.
George, way off. Hits the side of the backboard. Harrell goes at Jokic, kicks it out. George, corner 3, way off. Jokic on the steal, ahead to Grant. And the Nuggets pouring it on. Timeout, LA.
That series didn't just end a season, it exposed a core that couldn't handle pressure. Fast forward to 2025, and history repeated itself, almost to the detail. Again, it was the Nuggets. Again, the Clippers had momentum, and again, they let it go. Game 6 told the story, a strong start, a third-quarter collapse, and no answer down the stretch. The same opponent, the same mistake. 5 years later, the Clippers didn't learn, they relived it. Russell Westbrook didn't just beat the Clippers, he haunted them. Cast off mid-season, labeled inefficient, and quietly shipped out of LA, Westbrook landed in Denver with something most players lose after years of criticism: fire. And when the playoffs came, that fire burned right through his former team. He brought energy, speed, and toughness the Clippers sorely lacked. Every steal, every drive, every scream felt personal. Westbrook wasn't just playing. He was reminding the Clippers exactly what they gave up. And as the series slipped away, the irony was brutal. The player they thought didn't fit was the one who buried them. Then there was James Harden. Another Game 7. Another disappearing act. He shot 2 of 11 from the field. One made basket in the second half. No free throws. No urgency.
Harden, step back Jay. It's off. Down to 8 seconds. 1 second on the shot clock. Harden tosses it up. Air ball. Harden, shot clock is winding down again. They have nothing going right now. Harden, 2, 1, tosses it up, short. Harden drives it.
Just quiet steps to the locker room, a familiar ending. Harden's playoff history is defined by moments like this. Houston, Brooklyn, Philly, now LA. It doesn't matter the jersey, when the season's on the line, he folds. The Clippers hoped this time would be different. It wasn't. The Clippers didn't stumble into the playoffs, they stormed in. They went 13-2 to close the regular season, beating top-tier teams and climbing the rankings with cold precision. Their offense was one of the most efficient in the league. Their defense, underrated, tight, and punishing in the half court. On paper, they weren't just good, they were complete. This was the team nobody wanted to face. They had shot creators, they had defenders, they had stars, and for a brief moment, it looked like everything had finally clicked.
Man, I truly believe that the Clippers, with a healthy Kawhi, which he's been healthy, with James Harden, are the team to beat.
I'm proud of you, you know that. I hope you do.
The Harden trade was working. Kawhi looked healthy. The spacing was clean. The bench was deep. The numbers backed it up. One of the best net ratings in the league. Top 5 in both offensive and defensive efficiency. Clutch stats trending up. This wasn't hype. It was data. And the data said this team could win a title. But then the playoffs started, and the illusion cracked. The ball movement slowed. Defensive rotations lagged. Kawhi went down again. And with every game, the numbers that once told a story of dominance started to feel like a lie. Harden's efficiency vanished. PG's scoring dried up. The bench that looked deep suddenly looked unsure. Everything that had worked stopped working. Because the playoffs aren't about numbers, they're about responses. What do you do when the momentum shifts? When the game plan breaks? When the other team won't flinch? And in those moments, the Clippers didn't respond. They didn't rally. They didn't reset. They just faded. Statistically sharp, mentally soft. All that regular season success, it meant nothing when the lights got hot. Because the deeper truth was this: the Clippers weren't built to finish. They were built to perform. Until the performance got real. Kawhi Leonard had choices. After winning a title in Toronto, he was the most wanted man in the NBA. The Raptors begged him to stay. The Lakers, yes, LeBron's Lakers, opened the door for a dynasty. But Kawhi didn't want to join a super team. He wanted to build his own. So he chose the Clippers. And he didn't just come alone. He handpicked Paul George. That decision changed everything. Because instead of anchoring himself to proven playoff killers, Kawhi tied his future to two stars who had never delivered when it mattered. Paul George, as inconsistent as he is talented. James Harden, historically great in the regular season, historically absent when the lights turn red. That's who Kawhi trusted to fight with, to build a championship around. And that gamble was the biggest mistake of his career. It wasn't obvious at first. In theory, it made sense. 3 elite scorers, veteran IQ, a new arena on the way, the city ready to crown a new king. But year after year, the same cracks kept showing up. George would disappear for stretches. Harden would lose confidence. Kawhi's health would vanish by May, and by the time they needed someone to carry the load, they'd all be limping, physically or mentally. Kawhi didn't just lose playoff games with the Clippers. He lost prime years. He lost control of the narrative. And maybe worst of all, he lost the belief that he was a closer. Because legacy isn't built on rings alone. It's built on judgment. And Kawhi's judgment, in the biggest decision of his career, was flawed. He bet on players who needed to be carried. He bet on a franchise with no winning DNA. And he walked away from a Toronto team that would have let him rest, defend, dominate, and possibly repeat. This wasn't just a basketball decision. It was a psychological one. Kawhi didn't want to follow. He wanted to lead. But he picked the wrong soldiers. And when it mattered most, they left him alone.